Saskatoon's art scene is booming again, and we have Carrie Catherine with the 220 talking about the Riversdale Art Walk. Thanks so much for coming to the studio.
My pleasure.
I want to talk about you first of all and your background and how this all kind of came to be. You've been a magnet for the area, a real catalyst in making things happen. How did this come to be?
Yeah, well, as you know, I used to be a musician, so I'm real fond of the arts, and I work with a lot of artists. We see a lot of arts in the 220, and we actually started hosting art shows at Prism Coffee. And we soon realized that we're hosting art shows, we've got galleries, we've got some new artists in the neighborhood all doing the same thing, and we thought, well, what if we all did it on the same day? And so we reached out. It was a great opportunity and a great experience just to connect with people in the neighborhood, see if there was interest, and of course there's a lot of enthusiasm for people to put together their minds and put some energy in a really exciting new adventure. So here we have the Riversdale Art Walk.
And this really hasn't been done before. There's been a number of, walks per se, or tours and showings.
Yeah.
But this is highly organized and more combined and unified. What was it that you tend to, I guess, capture from the neighborhood when you start looking at individuals, but everyone came together?
Yeah, you see this model in other cities, and so I think that was the first thing. A lot of artists have traveled around a lot, and so it's like, oh, this is a great model that we could use because it allows each community member to bring their own piece of magic to the table, right? And the diversity of that magic is really incredible because some have artist studios, some are really refined, beautiful retail boutique spaces that feature art. And so that diversity is so present in Riversdale, and that's the great thing about the walk is you don't just get a glimpse of one, you actually travel from one space to another and get a sense of all that is there. And even, there's spaces like James Frost's Fine Goods over in the block. Neil has garden architecture. And so if it's not on the map, you might walk by it. You might miss it. You might miss that Marie Lanou, a nationally recognized artist, has a space in Riversdale. And so we just wanted to put that all on the map to recognize what the neighborhood has to offer and then create a way for people to move from space to space.
And this will be held in the evening, or late afternoon and evening.
Yeah, it's from 4 till 8, and we really invite people to give themselves some time because in between these spaces, they're going to trip into some great restaurants too. We're gonna have some fun with this in the future. I think there's a few food as art walk coming up, but there's Pop Wine Bar, there's Odd Couple, Loki is a relatively new restaurant, there's Bistro and B. There's just some great places to linger and eat in between the spaces. And so even at Art Bar, they have a late night comedy show. So come at 4, stay till 8, but you might find yourself lingering even longer.
And this will be on a Saturday.
Yes,
date.
Saturday, November 22nd. Lots happening in Riversdale on that day.
Tell me, if I was walking down there and can you give me a sense of, am I going to see watercolors or ceramics or sculptures? Is it a little bit of everything, or what's on the agenda?
It is a little bit of everything. So there is visual art, and certainly that'll be featured in a lot of the spaces. But there are also spaces like Keitha McLaughlin's art space, the Saskatoon Maker Space, where they're inviting people to actually get their hands dirty. Like, don't just look at it, create it, explore. And everything from like some really refined spaces like James Frost, like anthology, like garden architecture. And then there's the more gritty, experiential kind of thing, like Art Bar, where there'll be comedy happening, but also a gallery in the front space. We'll have art at Prism Coffee. So I really think that you're going to see a little bit of everything. Even at MT Workshop, one of the newest spaces in Riversdale, Todd Gronsdahl has artwork that's more sculptural, so a lot of woodwork and clay. And so, yeah, there's a lot of diversity, so it's not going to get boring by any stretch.
Would you say that this would be in all ages, or grandparents taking grandkids, or a little bit of everything that families could enjoy?
Yeah, I do. I think all of the spaces except for one, Art Bar, is 19 plus only. All of the other spaces are kid friendly, and the kids especially will get a real kick out of Makerspace. And even Studio on 20th, it's a collection of a lot of artists who have had their studio space there for almost 15 years. And so for kids, just seeing what does an artist's studio look like, you know, I think that that's really interesting, and it's almost like pulling back the curtain and seeing what goes on behind behind the scenes.
If you had an opportunity to get a group together, I guess, and on that 22nd of November, is that something that you could arrange to have tours, if you will, or just invite people en masse to come down?
I think going with a group is fun, and we don't have tours scheduled, but they can go from place to place. We'll have a map up on our website that people can check out so they don't miss anything. And yeah, it would be great to go as a group, meet for cocktails before, cocktails later, and in between. It'll be a lot of fun.
So if people did want to find out more about this, is there you mentioned a website, how would they reach out to you to do that?
Yes, we're on Instagram, Riversdale Art Walk, or we have a website, riversdaleartwalk.com. All the venues are listed there, their times, and a map, just so you can find your way around.
Carrie, thank you so much for taking the initiative and shining a light in some dark corners and bringing the life back to the area. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Randy, for having me.
We'll be right back, folks.